Well, even though it's cold outside, there is still plenty of time for you to go after Canada's most popular sport fish, the walleye. But in the midwinter, there are certain times of the day which you can minimize your chances of waiting without getting a bite and maximize your time catching fish. Who better to bring in than the Wizard of Walleye himself, Jason Matity from mattitysgetfishing.com, to talk about walleyes at this time of the year, particularly a concept called twilight fishing. What is that?
Yeah, and basically what we're talking about, Chris, is we're talking about dawn and dusk. As the sun's coming up or the sun's going down, there's a peak in walleye feeding activity that the angler can take huge advantage of.
So the fish themselves become more active at certain times of the day. Why is that?
Absolutely. Well, you know, walleyes have these light-sensitive eyes. It's not that they can't, it's not that the sun's like, oh God, it's too bright for me, really. It's just that they have a definite sight advantage over their prey. They can literally T-bone minnows and perch and take them blind, right? Their prey just cannot see as good as walleyes can in the dark.
So armed with that knowledge, as we talk about, you can maximize the efficiency of your time out on the ice.
That's right. Like you could go out, as I always do, all day long, and you know, I can catch walleyes during the day and stuff too, but it can be slow. Like you can wait a long time between bites. But if you show up at about 3 and you get all your holes cut, you know, about an hour before dark, you've got time to scour an area, find out where they're holding, because you'll see them on your fish finder, but they may not be biting. So note those holes, go back, and as the sun starts to set, all of a sudden you're going to go to those holes and they're going to bite. And they're going to bite very aggressively too.
So when you're actually sitting over top of the holes, what sort of gear are we talking about? What are the rods and what are the lures were most effective?
Yeah. Well, you know, your standard rod that holds about 6-pound test line is good. You know, that has a lot of flex in it, so you can really set those hooks well. And our lure choices, which we've laid out a few here, one of my all-time favorites, of course, is the flasher jig. I like the combo of the flash and just the horizontal jig style. T-top minnows another, the real bait spoon, and any kid who was even forced to fish as a child knows the 5-a-diamond spoon, right? You know, but you go a little bit smaller, but at this time of night, they're also getting aggressive, so don't hesitate to go bigger, because you'll get bigger fish down
there. Now, this is where I embarrass myself when it comes to matters on the ice. Is that are these bait fish, or what are we doing to the lures themselves?
Yeah, well, and that's exactly right. These are intended to be, you know, minnows, or this is kind of a perch color, the greener one. You know, it's intended to mimic like minnows, smaller perch, or in the case of bigger walleyes, baits even the size of 4 to 6 inches long. They'll eat things that big.
In the winter, it's predominantly walleye. Are there other fish that Saskatchewan anglers are after this time of year?
Absolutely. You've got your pike, you've got your burbot, you've got perch, which you'll often catch in combination with walleye fishing, and they're smaller, but they're far more numerous. And so you catch a lot more of those. And they taste great in the frying pan, too, let me tell you.
The website's catching off for you guys. If people are looking for you, where do they find you?
They can go to mattitysgetfishing.com and see us there. And Cabela's has also invited us in to do a seminar this weekend at 1 o'clock in Regina, too. And we're going to be talking about twilight walleyes as well.
You talk about the relationship that you're developing with Cabela's. It's working out fairly well for the both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're a new store in town. We were fortunate they came to us to talk a little bit about fishing and that sort of thing, and it's certainly been fun.
Well, who better to get than the best?
All right, well, thank you very much.
The Wizard of Walleye. You're going to put that on the bottom of the t-shirts,
well,
aren't you?
I think so. You know, there's only so much room for so many things. You know, you don't want to be having it down to here. But
fantastic. Good stuff, Jason. Thanks for coming in this morning.